In this video, I'll show you step by step how I built an AI intake system on my own website that handles every new lead for me automatically. The lead goes through a form, the agent analyzes the submission, it qualifies it, generates a custom audit, and sends it automatically to the next step. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to build the same system for your own business, replacing repetitive and boring tasks, such as scheduling calls, follow-up emails, qualifying leads, and wasting hours on auditing potential clients. Let me show you how you make it, and let's get into it. Alright, so there's 4 pieces to build: the intake form, the AI audit engine, lead scoring, and smart routing. The form is the input layer, so let's keep this part fast. Alright, so the form needs to collect enough context for the AI to do real analysis, but not so much that people bail halfway through. So we just have some basic fields over here, and then this one is the field that matters the most. What is the biggest bottleneck in your business right now? This is what the AI builds the entire audit around. If someone writes, I spend 15 hours a week on client reporting, the audit should come back about client reporting, not generic advice, and not consider using AI. And there's the form. Short enough to finish quickly, but detailed enough for the AI to actually work with. So now that we have the form here, let's go ahead and actually drop it onto our website. And I'm going to do that using Claude Code. So I've already dropped in this entire diagram into Claude Code. Let's just go ahead and tell it to build this out. Now, because my apply page has a 9-step wizard-like type form, Claude Code is confirming whether I want a multi-page form or a single-page form. And since we want to make this as quick and as painless as possible, I'm going to stick with a single page. Here's the finished page on my website, the AI Opportunities Roadmap. Right, next up we have the AI Audit Engine, and this is the core of the system. So when a form submission comes in, the AI reads everything the person submitted and writes a prioritized automation audit around their actual bottleneck. It's not just a summary or a chat response, it's a proper document that says, here are your quickest wins, here's a 3-phase automation roadmap for your business, ranked by time saved, and with a rough sense of what's involved. So what we're going to do is give the AI the form data from the website and access to my second brain, which is a database of all of my YouTube videos, all of my LinkedIn posts, all of my content, and all of my client calls and previously built automations for it to derive inspiration from. And it's going to combine both of those things and output an automation roadmap tailored for this company after doing research about the client by searching the web and X and LinkedIn, of course. And I've set up the backend using Hermes agent, which I have running through Telegram over here. So it just took a couple of prompts to get everything running, and you can see that it even output a sample roadmap for it. So everything seems to be working well. Now we just have to implement this on the website and actually run it with some sample data. Once it runs successfully, we should see a full roadmap appear in this Telegram chat. I'm on my site, I filled it out with information about myself and a hypothetical bottleneck, and let's hit generate my AI roadmap. And you'll see that we have a confirmation we're generating your roadmap, and if everything goes well, we should get a message with a custom roadmap very short. Alright, there it is, my custom roadmap, all ready for me to review. Obviously, this is my roadmap coming to myself, and the next part would be to build a mechanism that actually sends this as an email to whoever submits. Alright, so the audit is working. The AI can analyze a submission, it can write something specific, but right now, every lead that comes through this form gets the same treat. The system doesn't know who's ready for a call and who's not. So that's the next step that we're going to implement through our Hermes agent. And you'll see that I've already done that. I've added a new payload to that webhook with an extra field for revenue. And I've also added a very simple rule just to modify the webhook agent. Number 1, to send the roadmap directly to their email, copy me on it. And if the revenue is higher than $20,000, send them a link to a calendar booking. And if it's less than $20,000, that means they might not be ready to invest. And as a result, I'm going to be sending them to my school community. So Hermes went ahead and actually did all of those changes for me. And you'll see that everything is now ready. So we can go back to the form, test it again, and this time we should see that we receive an email on my own email address, and I'll also provide a second email address that I have access to actually get the roadmap. But the important thing is that either way, whoever fills out the form does get a roadmap. So this is a really great way to provide definite value, no matter the ultimate outcome, whether in my case, I'm sending them to my school community, or if I'm giving them an offer for one-on-one coaching. Alright, here's the first test. We're using a different email address this time, except that the revenue is now under $10,000 per month. And we've also added a different bottleneck. Let's hit generate my AI roadmap. So we're generating your roadmap, and let's head over to the inbox and just sit tight for the mail to come. It'll take a couple of minutes. There is the custom AI roadmap sent from me. Look at that, beautiful. Quick wins, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, ROI estimates. And because the revenue was under 10K, CTA is to the AI Incubator Pro community. Awesome. Alright, now for the next test. We have the same information, except we've changed the revenue from 20K to 50K per month. We've also got the same bottleneck. I'm just going to hit generate roadmap again. Alright, awesome. That's going to trigger the workflow. Now let's go back to the inbox and wait for the roadmap to hit. Alright, so the roadmap is here. pretty much the same format as above, but instead of a link to the school community, we have a link to an implementation call. So there it is, end to end, the pipeline works and everything is up and running. Awesome. So all of our components, all working and all live. Now the build time, all in all, it took about 2 hours, including all the debug. Running costs, about $30 a month for the Hermes agent, and I'm using my existing Grok Pro subscription, which is another $20 per month. I'm already using Hermes for many other things. I'm already using Grok for many other things. This is just an added bonus that I'm getting out of. And most importantly, what it replaces is every hour that I spend reading submissions, writing replies, and deciding who gets a call. Now, what every lead that comes through this form gets is a prioritized automation audit for their business, not a template, not a newsletter sign up, something they can use that is derived from my own AI knowledge. And that's what makes this different. So the form and the routing were the mechanical part, but the audit engine, based on all of my learning and my experiences, that took most of the thinking. So the setup itself was pretty easy, but getting the AI to produce something that felt like a real consultant, looked at the submission, that took judgment. What makes a recommendation specific? What's the difference between automate your reporting and build a Notion pipeline that pulls campaign data week? Those decisions come from building these systems for real clients. Automation handles the execution, but the thinking still comes from the operate. And that's the part you can't shortcut.